Matt Newton, goal behind intentionally destroying the dollar. I don't know if it's being intentionally destroyed. There's lots of reports about that, but I don't think it is. I think if anything, dollar hegemony is actually kind of being secured right now. Because no one will buy bonds in your native currency because everyone's like, your currency's kind of garbage. So I'm going to buy bonds in your currency. We'll buy bonds in American dollars, and you can pay for your projects in American dollars because contractors love American dollars. China's got tens of trillions of dollars in bonds. They're all in US dollars. They're not in the Chinese yuan. You get bonds from EU countries, they're probably in dollars. So I don't think the dollar is going anywhere. The dollar is so ubiquitous. It's cash in hand all over the world. I mean, you get off a plane in, I don't know, Kinshasa, right? And you pay a taxi cab driver. They ask you what kind of money you have, and you can say, "Oh, I've got Chinese yuan." I'm like, I don't know what that is. I got US dollars. They'll be like this. Give me the US dollars, because that is a known currency around the world that you can easily drop in any bank anywhere. People want it no matter what. I just don't quite see China, who artificially pegs their currency to the US dollar, as taking over as an international currency when the entire purpose is to directly convert that into dollars. It's just trading with dollars extra steps. That's all it is. So I don't think that there's an intentional destroying of the US dollar. I think it's so ubiquitous and it's so out there that there's going to be people who are going to try to fight back against it, but it's all theocratic dictatorships, autocratic dictatorships, totalitarian dictatorships. That is who's doing the fighting. And quite frankly, you're just not going to get the gravitas behind it as a whole bunch of democratic nations trading euros and dollars. It just isn't going to work. Like India, China, Russia cannot agree upon a currency. India is buying a whole bunch of oil from Russia right now, black market, at super discounts using Indian rupees. And then Russia's like, hey, can I exchange the Indian rupees for some Russian rubles? And India's like, no. You can buy a bunch of shit from us with rupees. And Russia's like, I don't want anything from India. So you got to figure out how to get things out of India using those rupees. Plus, India and China hate each other. Like, India is literally partnered with Japan against China for missions to the moon because they don't want China to control the moon. Also, India and China are having skirmishes over a contested border region. India says it's theirs, China says it's theirs, and they're as likely to go to war with each other as anyone. So how are you going to have this economic systems, economic hegemony against the US dollar if your partners can't even get along with each other? Plus, I personally think that China sees Russia and like, oh, Russia is so weak right now that if we don't give them weapons, Ukraine's going to kick the shit out of them this spring with an offensive, and Russia's going to be so weakened they're going to balkanize. They're going to break up into little fiefdoms, and we can finally get Chinese Manchuria back, and Vladivostok will be ours. And they'll use that as an excuse to move into Siberia and take all the resources. Because China makes lots of stuff, hungry for resources. Russia makes nothing, has lots of resources. So in China's view, that's probably perfection. So I do not see these groups getting along for very long. It's like a collection of assholes. They're going to piss each other off. Everything's going to fail miserably, and the whole thing will fall apart. You just can't get that many people to get along. Okay. No says, what happens to a broker if it's providing / partner bank, central bank like Credit Suisse goes down? My guess is that the central bank or the regulator would have to seize them and then find someone to take on the assets while figuring out a way to dump the liabilities into a pit somewhere. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I would not want to be associated with anything that has to do with Credit Suisse right now at all. Does not seem like I would try to get away. That's what I would do. I don't know how the Swiss regulatory bodies work compared to like U.S. ones. U.S. ones, the SEC or the FTC or the FDIC will seize you for like a weekend and then find someone that can take all the good stuff, and then the bad stuff just goes off in the ether somewhere. Gets eaten by the Federal Reserve. I don't know. Jason Blackwell Houston, previously Wall Street pumped the market so that retail could hold the bag. Now, Plunge Protection Team is volunteering to bag hold because retail's broke. Bailout workaround. I do wonder what the resolution is for the Federal Reserve. Because in the past, it either offered really low interest rates for banks to flood the economy with money, or it raised rates to slow the velocity of money. Now it seems to be raising rates and then using cash that it prints to go buy assets and pump the value of the market. So there's still a velocity of money happening that shouldn't be, and I don't know what the solution is to that. Because if they stop and they just hold on to what they have and everything collapses, then for them to generate the cash needed to speed up the speed of money, they got to sell their assets, and that would cause it to plunge even more. If they sell now, everything collapses, hands down. They have to sell $8 trillion in everything, then the economy's toast. So I don't know. I wish I could get like someone from the Fed on the show to explain to me how they're going to get out of this. Because, but what I think I get from them is some sort of technobabble speak about, well, numbers are happening and, you know, interest rates are at 0.25% and they're not going to speak human. But I want to know, how are you going to get out of this? You're simultaneously restricting the velocity of money while speeding up the velocity of money, and then you just walk like an Egyptian. I don't know what they're supposed to do with that.